This episode of Witchpolice Radio is brought to you by the SUNWOLF label. They're putting out eclectic music from Winnipeg and beyond, and their next release is by Katie and the Wolves. It's an album called The Wild Unknown, which drops March 22nd. Stay tuned to thesunwolflabel.com for more information about the great bands and releases they have coming up. This episode is also brought to you by our friends at the Park Theatre. To find out what great shows they have coming up, please visit myparktheatre.com. I've been doing this podcast for a long time, but there's always room for something new on Witchpolice Radio. This episode marks the first time I've interviewed an artist who has a stuffed animal as a band member. The artist in question, Lost as Found, is a solo project, if you don't include the stuffy, helmed by Danna Pond, a local indie folk singer-songwriter. Danna and her stuffed friend Purt sat down for a conversation about her introspective, emotional songwriting, about the role that the stuffed animal plays in her music, about her unorthodox approach to recording, and much more. It's a very interesting one from a very unusual artist, so stay tuned.
You're listening to Garbage Hill, Winnipeg's first podcast network.
Okay, welcome to Witchpolice Radio. I am once again in the mall, my second home of the food court, and I'm here with someone who hasn't been on the show before. And one of the things that I like about doing this podcast, as long as I have, is that, I'm interviewing multiple bands every week, and a lot of the time they're suggesting other artists I should talk to, and that's kind of how this came about. My friends in Project Constellation played a show with you, I guess it was a week or so ago.
This was just on Saturday.
On Saturday at the Dog Pound, right? And they said, yeah, this is someone that I should talk to. So that's how this sort of got set up, which is very cool. And I guess maybe a good way to start is if you want to just introduce yourself and your friend here, and we can go from there.
Okay, certainly. So my name is Danna Pond. I'm a 27-year-old pantheist lesbian from St. Anne, Manitoba.
Okay.
This is my best friend, Purt. She is a 2-year-old TY Beanie Boo.
Okay.
She's kind of my best friend. I bring her everywhere I go for social anxiety reasons.
Okay.
And whenever I feel like there's too much focus on me, I just deflect and start talking about her.
It sounds like based on your bios and everything, she's almost listed as part of the band, right? She's like a key component to the...
Oh, she's definitely part of the band. She plays the flute. She's taking lessons.
Okay.
That's actually worked into the show. It's $50 a week, and the lessons are going great.
Okay, I imagine, yeah.
And she does the backup vocals and solos.
Okay.
Because we don't have a lead guitarist at the moment,
right.
So she just sings like la 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 la.
Okay, well, it's definitely a unique. I've been doing this for 6 years now, interviewing bands every week, and this is the first time a Beanie Boo has been part of a project. So it's something new every time, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
So. When I first, was introduced to the idea that, here's someone you should check out, I did some research, and I realized you have a lot of music that's been recorded now, and you've been doing this for a while now. It wasn't just you're not just some new singer who just showed up at a show with my friend's band, right? Like, you've actually been plugging away at this for quite some time.
Yeah. I've been playing music pretty much my entire life, writing songs for everyone that I ever dated and ever fell in love with. That kind of ties in thematically to like what I sing about now. I was in a band called Wafer Thin with my best friend from high school, and it was kind of like a Flight of the Conchords, Weird Al, Tenacious D.
So the comedy element, yeah, cool.
And we did satire and parodies and just goofy original songs, like one called Porcupine Mudslide. But he ended up moving to Brandon to study music and get married. Okay. So I kind of continued the music thing on my own.
Okay. And how long have you been doing it now, just as yourself then? How long has this current project been around for?
I would say that, like, Lost as Found it was a concept for probably like 6 or 7 years, and it's been an active part of my life for the last 2.5, almost 3 years now. Okay.
Well, what is the concept then? Maybe that's a good place to start. Like, what is the Lost as Found concept?
Okay. I basically wrote a song for everyone that I ever dated or fell in love with, and I was seeing this girl who I was just totally enamored with, and I wrote her a song,
Okay.
and that's the When You're Gone, because she was working out in BC.
Okay.
And I sent it to her so that she could listen to it if she missed me, because obviously I missed her. And although she was appreciative, she was like, you write songs for everyone that you date? Like, what makes this special? And I ended up writing another song after, because we had broken up, and I was trying to win her back, and that was Stubborn Heart.
Okay.
And she was like, that's really sweet. It is a little much. You're really a drama queen.
Right.
And then after we kind of broke up for good, because we had a lot of fights on and off. I was like, I'm gonna write an entire album for her. Okay. Because I've never done that for anyone I ever dated.
Like for her to hear, or about your relationship?
For her to hear.
Okay.
In the hopes that like somehow it would reach her ears.
Okay.
One day.
Fair enough. Yeah.
And that was Time and Eternity, and all of those songs. That's just like for her. Okay. And she has no idea that it exists, and none of our friends are willing to tell her that it exists or that we're still talking, because she wants absolutely nothing to do with me.
So do you feel then that like it was effective getting that out there anyway? Like, just, I mean, even if she's never going to hear it, just the idea of putting kind of those emotions to paper and recording them and everything, or?
Yeah, that's what gave me the final push I needed to. Like, after I made that, and I did all of the artwork, I did the pictures, the photo editing, the lyric sheets, and just like put out this whole album by myself. It's like, wait, this is a thing I'm capable of. And then I was just I got carried away with it. I had some time off work, and I just spent all of my free time getting all the emotions out of me. And just like, I ended up coming out with 4 albums. So there's Time and Eternity, Chaos and Order, Odds and Ends, which is like a mini album, Ouroboros, which is about eternal recurrence.
And the snake eating itself?
Yeah, snake eating itself. And then just a few random singles. Cool. And trying to tie it all together. The newest thing I'm working on is the next album that's going to have like real production value. It's called Lights Out. I'm going to like actually add all of the other tracks and what I hear in my head when I play my music. And that one is what I put together into the Lights Out show. Yeah,
I was going to ask about that. So that's like a self-contained performance, right? Like it's not just a series of songs. It's an actual, like, based on what I was reading on your website, it sounds like it's its own thing that is separate from what you're doing previously. Yeah, I was interested in Bo Burnham growing up, and he's kind of like one of my heroes. And I love the Netflix specials What and Make Happy. Those were huge influences for me, and I kind of grew up on his music. I was a YouTuber around the same time that he was. Not nearly as popular. Right. Or I guess you wouldn't be doing this. And my Lights Out show is like, fingers crossed for that Netflix special one day. Where it's just, what is this place? What is this realm? How do we find meaning? If love is the point, then why does heartbreak hurt so much? There's children nearby. And how do we resolve that? How do we come to terms with the fact that we have to live here when it hurts so much? Okay. And how is that being presented? Like, I mean, it sounds like it's different from just what you've been doing before, where you're still writing about emotional issues and things, but you're doing sort of just recording albums yourself. What is the sort of format for this?
This one, it's the themes. It's all the songs for this are thematically tied together, and it starts off with "Is This Hell" is one of my songs, and it's I've met angels, they have cracks in all their halos. Is this hell? I know it's how God planned it, but He gave me pain and I can't stand it. So is it hell? And then it kind of, that's the intro piece where like there's just build up. Then Purt plays the flute, and then we've got Welcome to the Sanctuary, which is like my kind of big opener, which is like they say life isn't over, they say love isn't sober, they say truth is in our eyes. It's just like this is heaven, this is hell. It's both at the same time. It's what we make of it, and there are a lot of people drinking away their problems, but like if you just wake up and look at it, there are beautiful things here. And then it kind of goes into depression, mental health problems. I collect mental health problems like Pokemon. Like I have ADHD, BPD, major depression, borderline personality disorder is like a big theme. So then it's like when you realize all of these things, you can't help but be depressed, even though there's an interconnectedness to all of it. It hurts, and they try and medicate that away. That's my big song, Professor X, which is like the most popular out of all of my songs online right now. Which is and the end is like the Lights Out and Stargazer that kind of ties it all together. It's, I know you're hurting, but there's someone out there who feels just like you do. Are you hoping to kind of perform this all as a single piece
somewhere?
Yeah. That's what I did at the Pyramid on the 18th.
Okay.
That was the Lights Out show. That was like the debut of this performance piece. Okay. There's like written script in between the songs, and how it's very choreographed down almost to the minute. And that's what I did on.
Is that just you and Purt, or do you have
Yep.
Okay.
It's just me and Purt at the moment.
Okay.
Working on new projects with a few other people, and there's also another album that I'm working on. It's called Lost is Found AFAF, Anything for a Friend, and I'm working with a bunch of local artists to showcase Winnipeg music.
Oh, cool.
And just bands that I've listened to whose sound matches the emotional tone for some of my music. It's like, hey, can you play my compositions and bring your own life to it?
Oh, that's cool.
Put it on this composition album, just from Winnipeg, a love letter.
Who are you? Who's on there? Can you announce that yet, or is that secret? Or
I don't know if it's a secret.
I don't want to spoil your reveal of the artist on the project, but if you
I'm really hoping to get the guys from Playing as Ghosts to help me out.
Okay. They're good guys.
They're awesome guys. Trev fist bumped Purt after our show. It was adorable. His daughters love Purt. They check out our Instagram. She's Purt Pickles, and I think her Instagram is princess.purt.
Okay.
Where was I?
The project you're doing with other artists.
Yeah,
Who are you?
So Playing as Ghosts, my friend Ashley Sim, she's a competitive vocalist. I used to watch her when we were teenagers. She sings like Amy Lee, Evanescence. My friend Terry Fairman, who is an incredible rapper. She kind of blew me away. So I was going to, some of the quieter songs like Lately, Can't Get You, we were going to sing those as duets.
Okay.
Ashley was going to hammer out the power ballads. I wanted the guys from Playing as Ghosts to do my more upbeat, poppy, punky songs.
Sure, that seems up their alley, yeah.
And I think that doing Welcome to the Sanctuary and Lights Out with them, the opener and the finisher, would kind of tie it all together because they have so much energy.
Yeah, they do, yeah, for sure.
And one of my songs, there's a line, it's "We're just ghosts in people clothes."
Okay, so it fits the ghost. Yeah.
I was hoping that would be what got them on board with this idea. I would really like to do something with Stacey James, but I know she's busy and has a lot of her own
really
projects.
good too, yeah. I actually had her on the show last year or 2 years ago. Yeah, really, really cool interview.
She's incredibly talented.
Awesome, yeah.
I've got a stubborn heart and it feels I'm born to lose. You think I'm giving up on you, but just put on my shoes. It's too late for me to call you, and I can't make this okay. I was counting every month we had, and I'm back to counting days. You'll see I'm proud of all the things we've done and all that we've achieved. The way you said we're over me, nightmare of my dreams, I'd still try to make it better. Another bandage on the wound. I'm still sleeping in your hoodie, cause it smells like your perfume. And I've got a stubborn heart. Yes, I've got a stubborn heart. I've got a stubborn heart and it's just not letting go. I'm afraid you'll grow to hate me. Maybe we're better off alone. But don't think for a second that I don't love you just the same. And my heart breaks every single time I read and write your name. And I've got a stubborn heart. Yes, I've got a stubborn heart. You've got a stubborn heart, I know that it exists. But while I wear mine on my sleeve, you wear yours on your wrist. And your tattoo says forget, and I'm so scared that's what you'll do. Cause the truth is I forgot myself, it's the cost of loving you. You've got a stubborn heart, and I swear I've seen it shine. So tell me, how the light go out in yours when your name still burns in mine? I'm still trying to be better person cause of you. I'm still hoping that you'll call my name and I'll run back to you. And I've got a stubborn heart. Yes, I've got a stubborn heart. stubborn heart, and I swear I won't let go. And with just a little patience, I can wait till I grow old. So don't think for a second that I don't love you just the same. And my heart breaks every single time I can't even say your name. And I've got a stubborn heart. Yes, I've got a stubborn heart.
Today is actually the anniversary. It's the 22nd anniversary of my father's suicide.
Okay, well,
which is why I wrote the song Professor X. And it's like ever since the age of 5 in an empty bed where my daddy died, they've been trying to medicate my pain. Is like the hook for that song. And after the chorus, there's a line. It's but Tinkerbell she chooses Peter Pan. So it's funny that I would come here to talk about that song on the anniversary of my father's death. But today of all days, I saw a license plate that said Peter Pan.
Oh,
like
cool.
a vanity plate.
That's kind of cool,
and I was like, oh, well, that thematically ties into everything I believe.
Yeah, it's that's a very weird coincidence, yeah.
I don't believe
You don't believe in coincidence? Okay, fair enough, yeah. So, does writing songs about obviously very serious, very affecting things that have happened in your life, does it help you deal with them? Like, just getting it out there, or does it make it you more kind of, give you more anxiety or nerves about it, just having to kind of put it out there publicly?
Oh, it's so cathartic.
Yeah.
I guess what is it? Alfred Hitchcock?
Alfred Hitchcock, yeah.
Way to go, Dana.
You get the first letter, right?
Yeah.
You get the A. Yeah.
Film is little slices of time.
Right.
I think that songs are little slices of time, and the whole Doctor Who. Like my name is Dana Amelia Pond.
I saw that, yeah.
And in Doctor Who, when he's talking about Clara, he says, Clara suggests that every story ever told happened, but sometimes those stories are songs.
Right. Okay.
So everyone that I've dated, I put those feelings in a song so that I don't have to feel it all the time. And if I ever want to visit how I felt for that person or what they meant to me, or just feel like they're around, because all of my music is lo-fi. I record a song as soon as I write it to get it in there. And it's like a little time capsule, and then I don't have to feel it anymore.
You can go back and listen to it if you want to, right? Or play it, I guess.
Yeah, and then when I perform it, I just go back to that moment, and I bring the same energy to the song every time.
That's cool. It's an interesting way of thinking about songwriting, actually, just doing it that way. Because I think a lot of people sort of use songs as a way to dwell on something, like the opposite almost, right? Because they use it to sort of stew in the emotions of that, but you're kind of doing the opposite by just letting it out and then keeping it there, right? Like putting it in song mode.
It's almost a spiritual thing. I feel like there's this electric ball of anxiety in my stomach, like in my solar plexus, solar chakra, and I was like, oh, I have a song. I gotta get this out. It's almost like being sick, and it's like spiritual vomit.
Sure.
I find the chords. It's like, okay, no, this is what it feels like, and I'll get some words in here. And it's like, oh, this is what I'm trying to say, and then I just follow my intuition, and then a song falls out, and it's like, oh, there we go, it's out of me now.
So once you spiritually vomited it out, I like that term. Once you spiritually vomited it out, do you ever go back and change them, or is it sort of as it was when it came out? That's the song.
They mature.
Okay, sure.
Fine wine.
Yeah.
I do change bits and pieces. I round them out. I smooth out the edges. It's kind of like vomiting out a ball of clay in the shape of a humanoid figure, and then refining it to better
until
art.
It becomes a statue or whatever it is you're making. Sure.
But once it's out of me, it's out of me, and that's the general shape that it keeps for the rest of its
fair enough.
existence.
Yeah. About your recording, you were saying it's very lo-fi, it's very kind of spur of the moment when you have the idea.
Yeah.
How were those 4 albums recorded? Because they do sound very lo-fi, and I wasn't sure if that was just out of necessity or if it's an aesthetic thing, or...
Can it be both?
It totally can, yeah.
Yeah, I was recording on my laptop,
okay.
And then I ended up getting a phone. I told them that I do a lot of YouTubing, but audio quality is of the utmost importance.
Sure.
So I started using my phone, and then I just mastered the tracks in GarageBand.
Okay.
And try and cut out the static and the background noise. But I really like that indie lo-fi feel. It reminded me of pirating Dashboard Confessional, Death Cab for Cutie, Hawthorne Heights on LimeWire, and listening to them the little Logitech speakers in my bedroom.
Right, the super tinny kind of,
Yeah, and I wanted it to have that nostalgia that we all kind of, for at least anyone who would listen to my music, would probably have grown up with.
Right,
With the novelty of hey, new content.
Sure, okay, fair enough, yeah. And is that kind of what you want to keep doing? Is that lo-fi thing, or are you hoping
No,
you want to... Because it sounds like your project that you're currently working on, it sounds very like it has the potential to be a lot more lush and a lot more kind of filled out than just a tinny kind of bedroom recording, right?
I would say that all of my albums are concept albums at heart. Like they're just
in terms of subject matter and
art projects that an aspiring musician put together. They're not fully fledged. They're not signed. They're not like they don't have the production value.
Sure.
It's all heart and composition.
Okay, fair enough. I had a question and it just completely bounced out of my head, but I will remember it as I keep talking to fill space. I will remember what the question was. Oh yes, okay. Those bands you mentioned earlier, the ones you were pirating on LimeWire.
Yeah.
When I was looking at your website, you use the term indie rock to describe what you do.
Yeah.
And as a solo person, or solo and Beanie Boo, playing acoustic music generally, I wouldn't have thought indie rock maybe as the genre to define it, but is that just based on what you're being influenced by musically? Is that sort of where you think that it fits, or?
Well, I hear all of the other music in my head that's
Sure.
not coming out through the guitar.
Sure,
and
yeah.
I bring that presence to the stage, like it's just a wall of sound. I guess you could call it like indie folk, indie acoustic.
But are those more not heavier, but those more like traditionally indie rock bands? What's inspiring it? Like, and it's just being filtered through you and then coming out acoustically.
Yeah. I don't know how you would classify bands like City and Colour, Desperate Confessional, Death Cab for Cutie, Metric,
right?
Bright Eyes.
Yeah, I guess those are indie rock. I mean, some of them emo kind of stuff going on there too. Yeah. Okay.
It's emo indie with an acoustic guitar.
Sure.
Yeah.
It fits. Yeah. Okay. So what? Like you're originally from Winnipeg, right? You're from St. Anne, is that right?
It's like I said in the song Professor X. Like I lived in Winnipeg until shortly after my dad
Okay,
died.
and then you
moved out to St. Anne, started over, and then moved back before school.
Okay, so did you grow up at all with the Winnipeg music scene? Like, were you?
Nope.
No, so that's totally. So then, as a performer, how do you feel the process has been to kind of fit into the music scene and get shows and get connections with other artists? Has it been a challenge because you're not sort of from that community originally? Because it can be very tight-knit here, and people all know each other for the past decade. They played in each other's bands and stuff. Is there any kind of like barrier to entry for you, or has it been pretty good?
I feel like it's been pretty accessible. Everybody's really welcoming.
Yeah.
I think people Purt is endearing, and I think people like kind of want to know what she's about. She's a great conversation starter.
Sure. Yeah.
She's it with the kids.
Yeah. No doubt. Yeah.
Yeah, getting involved was actually an accident.
Okay.
I had a dream where an angel taught me a song that was lights out. I was with one of my ex-girlfriends. I woke up in the middle of the night, the middle of the afternoon. We were sleeping during the day, and it was like, I have to write a song. And she's like, what? I was like, no, an angel taught me a song. So I was, in my head, I was playing it on stage, ran to my laptop, typed out the lyrics, found the chords, I put a little chord chart down. I was like, now I have a song. And then I got 2 emails.
Okay. And
one was from Road to Indie Week, and they're like, hey, do you want to be part of this? And I was like, sure. Okay. And then I was on a stage 2 days later playing that very song.
Oh, cool.
Which was like a weird
premonition. It's a quick turnaround, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that where you played with Plain as Ghosts?
Yes, okay. That's where I met them. I met the guys from Twang Bomb. Right. Marlon is a fantastic guitarist.
Cool.
And I met the guys from Disraeli Dreamers.
Yeah, good guys too, yeah.
Ryan Sorensen is actually, I work with his dad.
Oh, cool.
I'm not legally allowed to say where, but
sure,
I work with his dad,
yeah.
Vic, and we have a lot of laughs together. That guy's cynical and hilarious and so sarcastic.
Cool.
And I made a lot of friends that night. I guess people, when you have a band covering you, it's easier to go on stage.
Definitely.
And when you write songs that are as emotionally wounded and passionate as I do, and I just go up there and basically cry into a microphone for half an hour, but confidently and passionately. I guess people kind of respect that. They're like, I don't know if I'd be able to do that.
Right, yeah, well, it's difficult. It's difficult to perform solo anyway, let alone having that kind of stuff that you're singing about, right? Like that level of emotional depth, I guess, too, yeah.
I think that just being that vulnerable, being that open, and just so kind of easygoing and humble about it all. It's like I wasn't even supposed to be here.
Right.
I just got an email, I showed up, I did my thing, and people were kind of like, I'm just self-described down to earth. I don't know.
Right. Okay.
isn't sober. They say truth is written in our eyes. They say youth is a master of disguise. Welcome to the sanctuary. We've come again to die. We're the victims in the cemeteries. Sneak into the skies. We're the politician priests. Are the pigs who feed us lies. Where the sinners never sleep and the careless never cry. Welcome to the sanctuary. We hope you've come to stay. Where our sedatives are sedentary. There's no passion in our play. Welcome to the apiary. We got birds and we got bees. When we're calling for our saviors, we're crawling on our knees, falling for forgiveness, and we're sucking back the sin. I just wanted you to witness all my innocence within. They say life isn't over. They say love isn't sober. They say truth is written in our eyes. They say youth is a master of disguise. Welcome to the sanctuary, where the suckers selling souls, where our sins are sold in commissaries and our ignorance is gold. Welcome to the sanctuary, where the lost and we're the blind, where we falter through the future just to drink the past behind. I said welcome to the sanctuary. We preach love when we want lust, when we're all alone and longing for a face that we can trust. Falling for forgiveness, we're sucking back the sin. I just wanted you to witness all my innocence within. They say life isn't over. They say love isn't sober. They say truth is written in our eyes. They say youth is a master of disguise. They say light is a light within the dark. They say love is a home within a heart. They say truth is two bodies touching eyes. They say youth is the master of disguise. They say youth is the master of disguise. They say youth is the master of disguise.
So, I have more questions about Purt, because,
Yes.
I mean, you mentioned the flute stuff.
Yeah.
How does that work?
How does that
Yes.
work? Well, you know the, shit flute.
Okay.
I don't want to say that around the children.
Yeah.
The children. The girl from Time and Eternity. I won't name her because she wants absolutely nothing to do with me.
Okay.
She knows who she is if she ever listens to this.
Okay.
We were pretty much inseparable. She was my best friend. She was like the coolest person ever. She's my hero, my role model, and we came up with this idea of Purt, which is we owned an imaginary cat together.
Okay.
And it just kind of grew into its own thing where I'd start talking for the imaginary cat. And
Like
then
in the
it
voice of the cat? Or?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then it was like a role play where like I would say things as Purt, and then she'd be like, "That's not Purt. That's Dana. Purt's not mean." And so Purt says her name backwards when she's angry. She's like, "Trupp and Trupp." And
Okay.
it's like, "Purt, don't say that. Truck you. It's Purt. Go to your room. So that was a thing.
Okay.
And
there was no physical Purt at this point.
There
right?
was no physical Purt at that point.
Okay.
And we watched the shit flute Titanic theme song.
Okay.
The night before she left town, and that was just tied in emotionally to how I was feeling at the time.
Okay.
And every time I listen to it, I cry.
Okay.
Listening to the really
Listening
bad
to the shift
recorder.
flute. Okay. Yeah.
Because it just reminds me of her, and it reminds me of when she left.
Okay.
And then I went out to Edmonton after my uncle's best friend passed away. And we were picking up their car, because I guess they willed it to my mom. And we're driving back, and in Swift Current, I saw Purt sitting on the shelf of the gas station, this very Purt. And her eyes spoke to me, because that's exactly what I imagined in my head. I had already been drawing comics of this Purt character. Purt, she's an ice cream salesman. She works for Dickie D's. She doesn't understand the concept of money. She gives ice cream away for free. She got fired, and she freaked out, and she did a desk flip. And she's told off her boss, and she ran away with the ice cream truck. So she just gives ice cream out to children, a la Ron Weasley.
Right.
There's just a whole bunch of like little Purt memes that have become their own thing. But I had been drawing her for months. I saw this Purt, and
she looked like it. Like she looked like the drawings.
She looked like the drawings.
Okay.
It was eerie. It was one of those I don't believe in coincidences, synchronicities.
Right.
It was like, this is my daughter. This is my best friend. I bought her then. We took a whole bunch of pictures together, and I posted her online with the comics that I had drawn of her previously, and it had already been a thing. And I ended up getting back together with the Time and Eternity girl for a little while, and we had some time with her together, and she got to meet her, and so like this is our daughter.
Okay.
And so I got her like, I have a pen vape that looks like a recorder, and she holds it on stage, and then I play the Titanic theme song at the beginning of the Lights Out show.
Just like off a laptop or something, or
off my phone.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
And that's Purt playing the.
Yeah, that's Purt playing it, and then I come there and I'll sing along with her. Up until the chorus, and then I like. The neck gesture, like, kill the noise. It's like, everyone give it up for Purt, and everyone's very supportive. They're like, we love you, Purt.
Is it always good reactions? Because I mean, it's a bit of a weird thing, right? People are going to be like, what is this cat doing with a vape pen, right? It's got to be a little unnerving for some people to just, what? Like.
It's, I don't want to say it's a gimmick, because she's real to me.
Right,
She has come to life through the magic of love and tears. She's where I put all of my hopes, dreams, and innocence. She knows all of my secrets. She licks up my tears when I cry. I cuddle her every night, except for when I'm drinking, because I don't want to be drunk around my daughter. My mom babysits her. That's a real thing. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Would this musical project exist without her? Like, is she integral to what Lost Has Found? Like, is it?
As it stands now, yes, she is. She is half the band. It's her. The first album was for the Time and Eternity girl, but Purt's on the cover of Chaos and Order.
Right, I think I saw that. Yeah.
I drew us together. It's me and her, and she's been a part of it ever since. People are really receptive to her when I bring her on stage. Like, I'm sure people look at her and they're like, what is this about?
Yeah.
Why is there a cat sitting on stage? And like, she's under the spotlight, right? Just like, that's how it opens. Is you just like this stuffed animal on a bar stool with a vape pen.
Just by herself, like without you there? Cool.
And then the Titanic theme song comes on, and people are like, what is this?
Yeah.
And then as the music is like starting to play before the recorder starts, I walk onto the side of the stage. I'm like, hi everybody, my name is Danna Pond. This is my best friend Purt. She's a 2-year-old TY Beanie Baby, and together we are Lost as Found. Purt's been taking recorder lessons, so I would just like to open the show with a preview of her abilities. Everybody give it up for Purt, and then they cheer, and then the flute starts, and I make people endure it. Let them sit there. I walk off stage and just leave her there.
It playing,
and people are just kind of like, as the recorder is so like,
it's bad,
on a chalkboard,
bad,
fork on a plate, and they're like, what is this? And it's, the whole point is like, I need to get their attention, because your attention is a very valuable thing. And it's like,
that'll work. That really work.
For the next 45 minutes, like, it's just me and you guys, and I need you to be here with me, be present. I need everyone in the room, and that's kind of like jostles the people. Like, you can't be in a crowded bar and then have it go dead silent and start hearing like the Titanic being played very poorly.
And then everyone watching a cat with a spotlight on it. Yeah.
And then I walk on stage while people are puzzled, and I start singing the chorus with her, and then I like make the gesture to kill the sound, and then I reintroduce everybody. It's like, give it up for Purt.
Oh, and then
and it's like $50 a lesson. That's great, right? Talking through my teeth.
Yeah.
And it's like, no, actually, like, my name's Danna Pond. The rest of the show is not quite on that note, and I go in to say, like, you know, we're going to be talking about some really heavy themes here, like addiction, depression, dealing with suicide, grief, and loss, and, you know, I guess not so much spirituality, but meaning and philosophy. What is this place? What is the point? What is love?
And does this maybe kind of just lighten it a bit?
Yeah.
Just having the stuffed animal there, like, to make it sort of... Yeah, and I guess the shitty flute too, right? It helps with, I think
it makes it more digestible, more palatable, more, because I talk about some really screwed up and sad things. There's a lot of anger, resentment, and grief, and guilt, and shame, and pain in these songs. And to suddenly, like, have a line where it's, like, since the age of 5 in an empty bed where my daddy died, they've been trying to medicate my pain, and then you have Purt come in with the la 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 la
right
la 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 la. Just the stark contrast between such happy, pure, innocent, loving little childish lalas and
the really dark,
heavy,
sad, heavy.
I think it balances it out and kind of makes it a more well-rounded meal of an experience.
Okay, well, it's definitely unique, I think. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen that at a show before, so it's cool. It's something different for sure.
Ever since the age of 5 in an empty bed where my daddy died, they've been trying to medicate my pack a bag and buckle up. We're moving out of town for love. Don't cause trouble, I know you're insane. I got empathy as deep as seas. My poems dance along the breeze. I see art, they see BPD. And she pulls together great expressions, from the wells of her depression. All along, it was anxiety. And don't you know that they got pills for that? Don't you know that my gifts aren't that bad? And they turn to drugs, they turn to sex. My girl's waiting for Professor X to tell her that she's special, that she's loved. They'll educate and medicate. They'll take all of your gifts away and solve your problems with a couple dance. Tinkerbell, she chooses Peter Pan. She swears she was just 16 when her broken family broke her dreams. They lost their home, she started losing sleep. Pack her bag and buckle up. She says she don't believe in love, 'cause losing dad made it hard to trust. Emotions soaring on the scenes. She loves with creativity. She writes them songs, they write her off and leave. And did it start at 25? She was cutting class and now she's cutting lines. And I don't mean lines as in cutting lines. Is she cutting lines 'cause her wrists look fine? And don't you know that they got pills for that? Don't you know that my gifts aren't that bad? They'll turn to drugs, they'll turn to sex. My girl's waiting for Professor X to tell her that she's special, that she's loved. They'll educate and they'll medicate, take all of your gifts away and solve your problems with a couple hands. Tinkerbell, she chooses Peter Pan. Ever since the age of 5 in an empty bed when my daddy died, I've been trying to medicate my pain.
Do you have anything coming up show-wise? Or, in the next few months, anything planned?
I'm still waiting for my Afton to get back to me with another booking.
Okay.
Probably going to be playing the Pyramid again, likely in April or May.
Okay,
it
cool.
depends on when I hear. Project Constellation is coming back on March 16th. They're going to be playing Sam's Place.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
They invited me to play. Like they want to do. I would love to do more shows with them. They want to do more shows with me.
Yeah, cool.
It's just we work really well together over the course of an evening. And I have a thing on the 16th, but I'd like to try and make it and be a part of that. So you might see me there.
And if people are hearing about you for the first time and hearing about Purt for the first time, what is the best thing for them to do to find you online, hear your music? But what's the best option there?
Got to do it in air quotes because the Google algorithm, because Al Gore invented
the internet. Yeah, series of tubes. Yeah.
You have to do quotes lost as found.
Right, because it'll go lost and found.
Yeah,
I tried that. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We have SoundCloud. We have Bandcamp. We have a proprietary website, just like Danna Pond, performance artist, lost as found. That's on Wix. Okay. So I think it's www.wix.lostasfound.com maybe.
I'll link to some of this stuff in the notes of the show too.
We have an Instagram, which is Lost as Found Band. Purt has an Instagram, which is princess.purt. Okay. And if it's not that, it's xprincess.purtx. We have a band email, lostasfoundband@gmail.com for bookings and contact information. Okay. Answering questions. And we have a Facebook page.
Do the X's around Purt's name mean that she's straight edge? Yeah, ex-princess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. The whole Lost as Found name. I was in a band when I was 13 with these guys from what's that town called? I don't even remember the name of the town, but it's outside of St. Anne, Landmark.
Landmark. Okay.
Two guys from Landmark. We're in a screamo rock cover band doing Under Oath and Billy Talent songs and some Hawthorne Heights. And my friend was like, let's call ourselves My 10-Story Scooter. And then another one was like, no, Lost as Found. That sounds emo enough.
It does sound emo,
and then, we stopped being a band because none of us had any talent.
Right, right.
And I kept the name, so you can't have it back, you guys.
Cool.
It's mine now.
And then you have the four albums on Bandcamp on SoundCloud?
We've got the 2 albums on Bandcamp, which are like Time and Eternity and Chaos and Order. And then I just published the Lights Out EP, which is kind of a demo. I want the production value in studio quality recording, so I would never feel comfortable putting out what I have right now. Sure. But it's in the works, and that is going to be like the single best album that I ever put out.
And then you did the UMFM session too, right?
Yeah, the UMFM sessions, and then on SoundCloud, the Bandcamp has good quality recordings, and it's a full package. You get the bonus tracks, you get the deal. When you buy the actual MP3s of the songs, you can download that. What is it, AIFF, full...
The high-quality files.
The high-quality files. Yeah. You get those on Bandcamp, and those are the better mastered recordings that I did in GarageBand. Everything on SoundCloud is the concept recordings when the songs came to me. Okay.
When you spiritually vomited them out.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. And then I put them in the same order that they are in on the album. So you've got the concept version of Time and Eternity, concept of Chaos and Order, Odds and Ends, Ouroboros, and a few of my singles. But the quality is dampened to encourage people to support local music by buying tracks on Bandcamp. But also, this is a labor of love. I want people to know what I'm doing, so I posted on. It's all available for free. I'm not rich enough to do that, but that's my political and values.
Well, it's a way to get it out there, right? I mean, people can hear it, and if they do like it, hopefully they go ahead and buy it and support and everything. So cool. Okay, well, if people want to hear more episodes of this show, including the Project Constellation, they've been on twice. Country Steve, I think, played that show too, right?
That guy is brilliant.
He's been on a few times. He's a good friend of mine. So there's 350 some episodes, so there's lots of stuff to go through. You can go to witchpolice.com, dig through the archives if you feel like it. We're on all the social media. Look up Witchpolice, 9 times out of 10 you can find the show. And then tune in on Sundays at midnight on UMFM to hear older episodes. So it's, February now? This might not air till spring sometime or the summer. But it's cool because it's always been available online once it comes out, but it just kind of gives an extra boost to the artist who's on the show that week. And yeah,
Purt!
And Purt as well. Yes. Right on. Okay, awesome. Well, thanks for talking to me.
Thanks for having me on the show.
Haven't been around in a little while. Really starting thinking that I miss your smile. And I don't think I'm coming home again. This bed and shed a little tear. Everything's changing and you're still not here. I don't think I'm coming home again. Crying on the phone, got a winter blues, and the front door's empty and I miss your shoes. I don't think I'm coming home again. You're still missing and I need you here. Sweet little voice and a whisper here. I'm too lonely I could disappear in you. When you're gone, well, there's nothing left to lose. The lights seem faded and I'm so frustrated. Oh, what am I to do when you're gone? There's an emptiness around, silence hanging in the air, and it amplifies the sound when you're gone. When you're gone. Haven't been around in a little while. I'm taking out your picture just to see your smile. And I'm so faded that it feels like home again. Just a couple days, but it's taking a year. I keep counting and you're still not here. I wish my baby was coming home again. Crying on the phone, got a winter blues, but you just won't answer cause it hurts you too. Love's not a game, but I feel we're born to lose. You're still missing and I need you here. Sweet little voice and a whisper here. I'm so lonely I could disappear, it's true. When you're gone, well, there's nothing left to lose. The lights seem faded and I'm so frustrated. Oh, what am I to do when you're gone? There's this emptiness around, a silence hanging in the air, and it amplifies the sound when you're gone. Ooh. When you're gone. Ooh. When you're gone, there's nothing left to lose. The lights seem faded and I'm so frustrated. Oh, what am I to do when you're gone? There's an emptiness around, the silence hanging in the air.